Good morning. It is Wednesday. I'm glad you're here. Hope your coffee's as good as mine. Hell, I hope it's better. I really do. I hope you're having a good cup of coffee today. Let's do this. Let's get in it. Let's dive right in. Good morning, everybody. How are you doing this fine day? I hope your day's going as good as mine. The theme of today's show is everybody wants to be the boss until it's time to do boss shit. It is just the way it is. Everybody wants to be the boss until it's time to do boss shit. And then nobody enjoys it anymore. Nobody wants to be the boss anymore. Nobody wants to wear the crown once you've got to make the hard decisions. And that's what we're doing today. And let's get it over with. We're going to do it first story, first thing, because I'm going to lose some of you today. I am. It's just that simple. But I hope we built up a relationship enough that you'll at least hear me out. I have said this before, and I will say it again. Thomas Massie is not your friend. He is not your friend. He has never been your friend. Just because he made a few statements on Israel that align with what we believe does not mean he has our interests at heart. It does not mean that he's going to do things that benefit us. He is a Republican. He is a diehard Republican. He is a hyper-partisan Republican. He is a Republican that had took a gamble and lost. And he is feathering his nest on the way out. He is. It's just that simple. It is not, he is not your friend. He put forward an amendment that a lot of people on social media were very happy about because if you just read the headline, it aligns with what we're wanting to do. We're wanting a reset with our relationship with Israel. We're wanting to cut funding for Israel and the shit that they are doing. As long as Benjamin Netanyahu is the leader in Israel, then there is nothing we can do with Israel. They are a lost people. They are now, and I've said it over and over again. Though there is a left in Israel, there's a Democratic Party in Israel, literally called the Democratic Party in Israel, that does not oppose does not support the genocide, does not support the things that Benjamin Netanyahu's doing. There just is. But Thomas Massie, he really doesn't give a shit about Israel. He doesn't really give a shit about what's going on. He doesn't. And he wrote a bill that was so bad, it was doomed to fail. It was not going to pass, period. But he did it for a reason. And it wasn't because he wanted to do the right thing for Palestinians or he wanted to do the right thing for the Lebanese. No, he is on his way out the door. And when senators leave, all they have left to sell are their relationships in Congress. That's it. That's what they sell. They walk out of Congress. They walk over to the lobbying firms, and they say, "Pay me, and I will broker deals for you." That's all he has left to sell. and he's ingratiating himself with Republicans right now because he set up a trap for us with this Israeli amendment. It was so poorly written. It cut off funding, humanitarian funding. It cut off funding for the rebuilding of Gaza infrastructure, getting water to the Palestinian people there. We're funding that. We're paying for that. If you didn't know. Those are things that Democrats got in that funding was humanitarian aid for the Palestinians, humanitarian aid for people in the West Bank. It also cut off funding for embassy security in Israel. I don't know who needs to hear this, but there are radicals. Before you talk about outside Israel threats, there are radicals in Israel that are a threat to us. There are some extremely violent right-wing people in Israel. And this bill that Thomas Massie wrote, this dog shit bill, cut off security funding and embassy security construction funds. It was a dog shit bill that could not pass on purpose. Are we clear on that? This was not just let's cut off weapons to Israel. It was not. So, exactly. Like the settlers that attacked Ro Khanna last week. Absolutely. There are extremists inside Israel that will do things like take a U.S. congressman hostage. Yeah. And then the IDF showed up and went along with it. So are we clear here? We both support a reset with the relationship with Israel. We both agree that we need to cut funding for Israel. Are we understanding where I'm at? I am not a pro-Netanyahu guy. I am not a right Israel blank check, guys. But that was not what this is about. It was not. It was on purpose. And this happened. Hakeem Jeffries stood up and did boss shit. He did what bosses do. He held a meeting with his people. It's being portrayed that he just wrote a dear colleague letter. That is not what happened. There was actually a meeting. And I'm going to tell you about what happened inside that meeting. Because I have sources. I will tell you what happened inside that meeting. This is the statement that Hakeem Jeffries put out, part of the statement to the public. And it's part of what he told members of his caucus. Jeffries said the amendment is overly broad and that it prohibits or would limit the use of funds for long-standing initiatives related to humanitarian aid, refugee settlement, peace building, and U.S. embassy operations. He added that the measure would also restrict U.S. capabilities to confront Hamas. Period. It was a poorly written bill. It was designed to fail. So he went to his members and said, look, I get it. This is what he told his members. The New York Times did a good job on this. I spoke to somebody I know in Congress. They confirmed this is exactly what he told members of Congress. In a caucus meeting on Tuesday. Notice it says a meeting, in a caucus meeting. That was my first thing that was so pissed off. Everybody but the New York Times is reporting that this was just a dear colleague letter. They're calling it a dear colleague letter because they're part of the setup. I've told you the media has chosen sides. They have chosen the Republican side. This was an intended narrative. This was intended to drive a wedge into us. This was intended to break the ride or die movement. This was intended to hurt us in the midterms, and I'm going to explain why. In a caucus meeting on Tuesday morning, Mr. Jeffries told, again, one more time, in a meeting, not a letter, he sat down with his caucus and he explained this situation and why he's going to vote the way he's going to vote. But he said this in a caucus meeting on Tuesday morning, Mr. Jeffries told Democrats that they must run toward the issue of rethinking U.S. support for Israel, not away from it, calling the status quo unacceptable. The status quo of funding Israel is unacceptable, according to a person in the room who insisted on anonymity to describe private discussions. I will tell you the same thing. I will not tell you who told me what they told me, because, again, the rule on this meeting was it was to be private. People are leaking it anyways, but we're not going to burn the people that leak it to us. He said he did not view Mr. Massie's amendment as a genuine effort to change U.S. backing for Israel. It was not. It was designed to die. It was designed to set a trap for Democrats, and specific Democrats. We're going to talk about that. But the things did have to change. Period. The leader of the Democratic caucus has sat his members down and said, we cannot continue to do this shit with Israel anymore. It has to change. I am telling you, because this is who he was speaking to. And this is what we fight. Social media is not the real world. It is not. If you go to social media, almost universally, everybody agrees with us. Everybody agrees with that sentiment that Jeffries just put forward. This shit with Israel cannot continue. It cannot. Everybody agrees, right? Well, not in the real world. Not in the real world. There are districts in this country that are pro-Israel. I'll let that sink in for a second as I take a sip of coffee. There are districts in this country that are pro-Israel. Some of them are represented by Democrats. Massie absolutely took aim at those Democrats with that amendment. There are some contested races right now. But before we get to that, I just want to give you a taste. This is what is all over social media. This and posts like this are all over social media. And why I'm calling AIPAC Tracker out is they are the worst offender. They are run by former staffers for AOC. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, one of the founders of this was one of her staffers. They know this. They know what I'm telling you right now and don't care. They don't care whether or not we secure a majority in the midterms. They don't care if Democrats in pro-Israel districts lose their seats. They don't care. And they don't care that the people that those Democrats are going to lose to are way worse on Israel than the Democrats that are in power now. I'll give you real world examples, not playing games here. There are districts like Massachusetts 4th District. Massachusetts 4th District. It is a suburb of Boston. This is the Massachusetts 4th District. It is a combination of evangelicals, devout Catholics. This is Joe Kennedy's old district. It's a combination of devout Catholics that are pro-Israel, evangelicals that are pro-Israel, and Jewish people that are pro-Israel. This district is pro-Israel. Right now, their rep is Jake Auchincloss. This is Jake Auchincloss. He is a Democrat. He is a Democrat. He is who Hakeem Jeffries was talking to. He was the one that Hakeem Jeffries was telling you, and not just him, it's a handful of Democrats, telling people, you have to prepare yourself that the funding for Israel is going to change. You're going to have to go back to your pro-Israel districts, and you're going to have to prepare yourself that things are going to change. We're not going to do it stupidly. We're going to do it smart. But the times, they are a-changing. It was regard for his fellow congressmen. He wasn't throwing he would not throw his fellow congressmen that have to run in these midterm races. Auchincloss is in the fight of his life. One second. Where are you? I got you. He is in the fight of his life. He has got an opponent that is so pro-Israel. I mean, they never met a weapon system they didn't want Israel to have. They want Israel's military just bound together with us. That's where they're at. If Auchincloss loses, this extremist Republican takes his place. But wait for it. There's more. There's more to it. You got Debbie Wasserman Schultz. Debbie Wasserman Schultz, you all will know who she is. She is in a district that is extremely pro-Israel. It is Florida's 20th district. She has to run in that district. She cannot run on social media. She can't. She's running against Brent Anderson. And Brent Anderson is an extreme Trumper. Brent Anderson is an extreme supporter of Israel. Any weapon system they want, you got it, man. Rubber stamp. And she is in the fight of her life because she's being undercut by these anti-AIPAC people that don't understand there are some districts that are pro-Israel and they have to run in their districts. Politics is local. Debbie Wasserman Schultz will follow Hakeem Jeffries' leadership. She will. They will reduce funding for Israel. They will reset that relationship with Israel, but they will do it smart. They're not going to do it stupidly. This is another example. Y'all remember Jerry Nadler? He retired. He's not running for re-election. His district is extremely pro-Israel. Extremely pro-Israel. And in his district, they've had a primary. And the winner of that primary was Michael Asher. Michael Asher may not win. He may not. We may lose a reliable blue district. He's in trouble. When I tell you this whole thing of people not being ride or die scares the shit out of me, and what really has me afraid This is what I'm talking about. These are the things I know about that are just terrifying me, because I know we cannot afford to lose these reliable blue districts and take control of the House. We can't. We can't. Michael Asher's opponent, Carroll Schinkel, is the kind of Republican that signs bombs. There will be no limit to the funding she will send to Israel, and she is A-OK with everything Benjamin Netanyahu does. But look at what's going on in this district. This should be a layup. This was a reliably blue district. But I want you to take a look at this. This is the race. It's Michael Asher, Carroll Schinkel, Juanita Negron, Karen Ortiz, Rob Hoon, and Lucian Wintrinch. I want you to pay attention to this, Lucian Wintrinch. All of these people are pulling votes from the Democrat except for Carroll Schinkel. Well, yeah, she is. She's a Republican, so of course she is. But Lucian Wintrinch specifically is a problem because of Nina Schwalbe. Who's Nina Schwalbe? I'll explain who Nina Schwalbe is. Nina Schwalbe was the absolute loudest anti-AIPAC candidate to run. She got raffle stomped in the primary. She got raffle stomped. I mean, just rolled, absolutely rolled. But she got several thousand, just shy of 10,000 votes in a district that is going to make a huge difference in. And her supporters have started a movement online to not support the Democrat. They want you to cast your vote for Lucian Wintrinch. They're telling people they're going to vote for Lucian Wintrinch. They're splitting the Democratic vote. This is happening. This is happening. Everybody wants to be the boss until it's time to do boss shit. It is so easy to express platitudes on social media. It is. And I'm not even disagreeing with you. I'm not. I think we need to reset our relationship with Israel. I think that we need to either, if Israel in October cannot deal with this Netanyahu problem, they've got elections in October. If they cannot deal with their Netanyahu problem, we need to cut ties. I am with you on all of that. But I am also looking at these races that should be layups, and now we're having to dump money into them just to hold on to what should be reliably blue seats. We're having to take resources away from other candidates. And this is before we get to the races. You know, everybody wants to flip Texas blue. Texas is the buckle on the Bible Belt. Our candidates are running against churches. I hate to say that, but it is the truth. The evangelical churches down here are rabidly pro-Israel. And our candidates are running against Republicans that are saying, woo, love that Netanyahu. And those churches are breaking every rule, every law. They're organizing for these Republicans because, you know, they all want to see Armageddon. They want that rapture, man. And our Democrats are having to run in these districts, then you want to flip these districts. Well, the online stuff doesn't help. The fact that when Jeffrey stood up and did boss shit, did what bosses have to do. That's the difference. Everybody's like, Ro Khanna should run the Democratic Party. Ro Khanna doesn't give a shit if these Democrats lose. All Ro Khanna cares about is Ro Khanna. That's it. He is not, even though I agree with Ro Khanna and a lot of what he says, he is not leadership quality. A boss must do uncomfortable shit. A boss must be able to hold this is how you get that capital. This is how you get someone like a Debbie Wasserman Schultz to vote against her own self-interest. Is you support a re-election. Then she owes you. Then you take that capital and you govern with it. This is the ugly sausage, the shit that nobody knows. And hell, I've got people that don't know, couldn't name the 3 branches of government screaming at me on social media that I now support genocide because I'm telling you, Hakeem Jeffries is your friend. Thomas Massie is not. Thomas Massie knew everything I'm telling you about these re-election bids. He knew. I like Ro Khanna too. I do. I just don't think he's leadership quality. I think he's got a lot of growing to do. Ro Khanna needs to start caring more about his fellow. You can't run the Democratic Party without caring about the Democratic Party. Thomas Massie did this shit on purpose. He knew. Folks, we can't lose. There's about 6 seats that are in pro-Israel districts that are run by Democrats that cannot afford in their re-election to run a strong anti-AIPAC message. There isn't. And these folks at AIPAC Tracker don't give a shit. They don't give a shit. They are making bank. They are making bank off of this. But I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to be some clickbait motherfucker. It would be so easy just to copy and paste one of these memes and get all of these people that are rightly pissed off. They are rightly pissed off. They just can't tell you what all 3 branches of government are, let alone tell you the intricacies of an election. So yes, they're passionate. It would be so fucking easy for me to just go to social media and just go along. Just get me some clicks, man. Get me some of that sweet, sweet Facebook money. But that's not what we do here. We're doing right for the country. We're doing right for the country. Everybody wants to be the boss until it's time to do boss shit. Then nobody wants to do it anymore because it ain't fun. It's not popular. It's not. So I want to be clear about this. This was a trap set by Massie. It was a trap. The funding he cut, there was no way his own party was going to vote for it, much less Democrats in critical districts. They did it on purpose. They did it to hand their Republican candidates in pro-Israel districts a gimme for the midterms. He did it on purpose. He fucked you on purpose. He took something that you cared about, something that you passionately care about, and he fucked you in the midterms on purpose. Because the people that are going to replace these Democratic candidates will not play ball with Hakeem Jeffries. They will fund Israel to the fucking extreme. They will let Netanyahu do anything. Anything. So yeah, I get it. I'm sitting here defending Hakeem Jeffries, and that's just too much for some people. It is. I get it. We're going to part ways. I understand that. I understand that. But I hope that at least we part ways with you understanding that Hakeem Jeffries has the good of the country, our country, in heart, in his heart, that he is doing boss shit. He's doing the uncomfortable stuff. He stood up and he took those attacks to run cover for those very congressmen that needed that cover right now. That's what being the boss is. It's not fun, people. It's not. It would be so much, like I said, I could sit here and not lead a movement. I could just go along on social media for clicks. I would have way larger followers. My revenues would be much higher on YouTube. My revenues would be much higher on Facebook, but it is not what I do. I am here for a reason. I'm here to build a ride or die movement. And sometimes it sucks. It's uncomfortable. Sometimes you got to eat a shit burger. It's that simple. It's that simple. So let's move on to some stuff that is fun to talk about. Unless you have any questions or comments on it. In fact, let me catch up with the comments. Jordan B. Miller, I'm convinced now more than ever Todd Blanche believes the vile men of the Trump Epstein files are the victims. Yes, well said. We have Blanche's confirmation today. His hearing is today. That vote is coming. It's coming up right now as we speak. They are going to brawl this out. There's going to be hearings. Friday's show is going to be lit. Is it one way or the other? We're either going to get totally screwed. It's so much has come out. Rachel Maddow did a wonderful breakdown on Todd Blanche and why he should not be anywhere. He shouldn't be the acting attorney general, much less attorney general. This is going to be ugly. It has come out that Todd Blanche is Trump's axe man. That's who he is. He is not just Trump's fixer. He's his axe man. And right now, Republicans are trying to make him attorney general. This is scary times, folks. Thanks for bringing that up, Jordan. Rich Lawton, thank you for gifting the memberships. Thank y'all for always being so generous. Jordan, Democrats have to grill Blanche on not who transferred Maxwell to the cushy prison, but why hasn't Blanche moved Maxwell back to the harsher prison where she belongs? Amen, brother. Amen. Amen. Randy Ryder, holy shit, coming out with the big guns. I'm talking battleship guns. Hey there, Texas Paul, increasing my occasional donation to this amount to celebrate what's going on in New Mexico with their AG going after Blanche and Trump. Tell folks about this. I will. We're going to do it Friday. We're going to talk about everything that comes out. Right now, it would just be speculation. It would just be speculation. It would be people trying to seem smart by guessing one way or the other. Oh, I don't think he's going to get confirmed. When you don't know. It is that close. Nobody really knows how the votes are going to unfold on this. We don't. They're whipping votes right now. They are. It is something. We'll talk about it on Friday. Thank you for the massive support. Thank you. Michael Anton, thank you, Texas Paul, for what you do and say. You're welcome. You're welcome. Melissa Grubb, thank you for all the donations, no matter how much I love this community. Thank you, Melissa. Thank you. Kizmar, I greatly appreciate the clarity you bring. E.T. Paul, do not forget Florida just had district changes by Repugs, and she is currently still in primary, and she is currently running now in a mostly black district. Yes, it's just not over. Chandra Patton for the cussing jar. Thank you. Thank you, Chandra. Greg Edmond, I'll say it again. If Israel versus Palestine is more important to you than Democrats versus Republicans, Republicans win. You know, I just want to say this. As important as this is, other than the resources, this region is not that goddamn important. We're not talking about a lot of people. Yet for some people, it is everything. There are more people in California and Texas than there are in the entirety of the Middle East. It amazes me how, for centuries, this region has been the center focus of all humanity when it fucking should not be. I cannot wait until we move to renewable energies just so we don't have to focus on this goddamn region all the time. I mean, I swear to God, between the fucking terrorists and the fucking war criminals, a pox on all their fucking houses, man. Oh, I mean, I know that's terrible. It seems inhumane. I actually give a shit if people are safe and okay. I do, but it's just an expression, an exasperation that this little fucking region, just because it happens to be geographically located between two regions that are actually building shit and doing shit with between Asia and the West. It's fucking outraging, man. And fuck Benjamin Netanyahu. Fuck that motherfucker. DTQ 7119, what are your thoughts on reports Fetterman is going to switch parties based on his fundraising partnership? If you don't know, he entered into a fundraising partnership with a Republican. He is fucking delusional. He is delusional. He is delusional. He thinks that he's going to be able to. First of all, I think it's about a 20% chance he flips parties. I could be wrong about that. I think that he thinks there's a place in Congress for someone. He is so naive and new. He thinks there's a place in Congress. He fancies himself some sort of grand dame ambassador deal maker when he's nothing but a fucking turncoat. You know, every Democrat voted against the NDAA. We're going to talk about that, the NDAA in Senate. Do you know why every Democrat voted against it? Because they told John Fetterman, you go home to fucking Pennsylvania. And he did. We'll talk more about that in a little bit. Mike Daly, the Dim. Morning, brother. Enjoying the coffee and politics with a balanced breakfast. People, Massie is a broken clock. Right on Epstein, wrong on everything else. Amen. Got a Paul LePage supporter here. David Brew. DTQ, FY wasn't saying not to vote for him in the midterms. Oh, hey, I get it. X Gray, thank you, Paul, from Stockton, California. Good to see you. Love California. Do. Jenny, 2025. Lord, save us from the absolutists who prioritize purity over the issues. They don't know. They're not. I keep trying to explain this. Thank you for this comment, Jenny. Let me finish. Hello, getting enough Dems elected to actually progress on them. Nader gave us Bush, Stein gave us Trump. Yeah, they don't know. They don't know how this works. They're not you. These are not deep thinkers. These are not strategy thinkers. They have, I want this and I want this now. That's most people. I keep telling you people. And I don't know how to get you. You keep providing the examples, and yet still you don't believe it. This show is not for the stupids. They cannot sit through this. They cannot analyze this. They cannot big picture any of this. They're not capable. And we have to remember we're talking to them, that we need them to do what we need them to do. This is why I tell you, it's a lot of responsibility being you. It's a lot of responsibility being aware of things that these people are not aware of. Because, man, I tell you what, when you're out there, you're the ones that soften this momentum. that is leading us directly. And I'm telling you, the APAC tracker, it is the most fucked up situation because I agree with what they're trying to do, but they fucking know better. They know better, and they're making bank. And it enrages me. It does. But man, I have to tell you, they don't know. They don't. They just don't know. Are they right that we need a reset with Israel? Yes. But they have no clue that that's got to be done with some skill. Or it descends into chaos. They don't know that. They just want it done now. You know, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. There's a lot of responsibility being the person that doesn't go to social media just for clicks. I mean, it sucks. Everybody wants to be the boss till you got to do boss shit. Well, welcome to being the boss. Tidy Dog Dragon, sitting here mad 1 second, nodding my head the next. Oh, I know. I feel you. I feel you. None of it's easy. Netadal, Israel should have been brought under control many years ago. Amen, sister. The U.S. has been apologizing for far too many years for what Israel has done. And this is why I say it is so hard, because on one hand, APAC tracker, I agree with what they're trying to do. Reduce the amount of funds that are flowing into coffers to reduce Israel's influence. Who the fuck can argue with that? Nobody. But you don't do it by setting off a nuclear fucking bomb and costing yourself. I mean, my God, people, we have to win the midterms. We must. Nothing can threaten that. Nothing can threaten that. Ooh, this keeps me up at night, people. This is what, when you see me do a short video and I tell you I'm scared, this is the shit I'm looking at. Barb Smithers, welcome. Glad to see you. Glad to see you. Glad to see you. New West Bill, I'm being subjected to and you know what? Let me stop. Before I get into your comment, something else that bothers me in the extreme. My goddaughter is Jewish. My goddaughter is Jewish. The guys over at Midas Touch, my friends, whom I love and respect, are Jewish. The number of people that roll into the comments when we start talking about curbing back Israel with fucking hate and bigotry, it disgusts me. It turns my goddamn stomach. There are people in Israel right now who do not believe in any of this fucking evil shit. They just want to get along with their neighbors, man. They want to be good neighbors to their neighbors. And they're like, well, where are their voices? That would be like me telling you, you're responsible for all the shit that falls out of Trump's mouth. You're responsible. Where are you? Well, you're here. You're fighting your ass off. The same thing is going on there. But they've got some fucking extremists in that country. There's video after video after video after video coming out, and it's about goddamn time of the insanity. The right wing in Israel has been allowed to live in delusional fucking territory for way too long. And we as the United States have been asleep at the switch. We have been shitty stewards. You're right, Netta. This should have happened a long fucking time ago. Pardon my language, but this really upsets me. It really does. A New West Bill, I'm being subjected to the stomach crap. Not fun. I now believe our government is purposely trying to kill me. It's getting harder to sit on my hands. I know I would lose a fist fight. I hear you. I hear you, brother. I hear you. And yeah, just segue off that comment. CDC, the Sister Perot's, whatever it's called, tongue-tied right now. I'm thinking of something else. Somebody tell me in the chat the name of this parasite that's going around, cystoporiasis, I think it's so. They stopped tracking it. They stopped the mandatory reporting on this parasite under RFK Jr. That is why they're having such a hard time tracking this, because the mandatory reporting wasn't there. We got to the party late. Folks, they didn't invent this shit because it was Tuesday and they were bored. This mandatory reporting was put in place just for this reason. And now today, I hate to tell you this, there's an E. coli outbreak that has been just spreading rampant. And again, no mandatory reporting because of RFK Jr. You know, the whole COVID let it rip mentality is now running the CDC. There's an E. coli outbreak that will kill you, people. E. coli will kill you. There's an E. coli outbreak in blueberries. But instead of having good information of exactly where it is, how it is, we're so late to the goddamn party. Now, everybody in the industry is waking up to the fact that this actually hurts them as well. They're like, we don't want them regulations. We don't want to have to do that reporting. And then they find out in a situation like this, everybody's going to stop eating fucking blueberries, even though they're not threatened, even though they're region, even though the blueberries that aren't coming out of the same processing facility, even though, but because the CDC is not doing their fucking job and giving you good information, the entire blueberry industry is just going to take a people. They did not create these regulations because it was Tuesday and they were bored. They did it for a reason and they work. New West Bill, I hope you get to feeling better, buddy. I hope you do. Agnostic, progressive, raver dude for the Merchant of Heart. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you, man. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting the show. Kyra, we're not going anywhere, Texas. Paul, you've earned our trust, and we love and appreciate you for all you do for our country. Hey, you know, I am so glad you people are here. I am. Donna Bell. Let's stay the course. Stay united. Ride or die. There you go. Diamond Garage, Paul, here with you as always. I'm very concerned of what Donald J. Trump is laying the groundwork to interfere or cancel the elections. He's messing with Georgia senators and lying 2020 elections by foreign agents. Please tell me I am wrong. What is going on with that? Great segue. Might as well get it out of the way. What is going on? Trump's going to give a speech tomorrow. And he's going to just load a bunch of bullshit out there. And he's going to claim that John Ossoff and Raphael Warnock were not legitimately elected. No. The people that defeated Herschel Walker, you remember Loeffler, the one that got caught with the insider trading? David Perdue. Yeah, they defeated these people, and they defeated them for a reason. They were fucked up, flawed candidates. Herschel Walker's just dumb as dog. You know, he is our ambassador to the Bahamas right now. He is driving people in the Bahamas away from I had my cab driver give me a fucking lecture about Herschel Walker. And what the fuck did we think we were doing the last time I was in the Bahamas? Yeah. He'd only been there for like 3 days. And he's already walking around insulting people. Man, the people of the Bahamas are pissed. But yeah, it's bullshit. Trump is in trouble over Iran. It's all falling apart. He cannot come up with a way to walk away and save face. He's looking weak and stupid to his own base. He can't do that. He's got to keep that core. So all he's doing is he's just waiting, trying to give Democrats bite after bite after bite at the Iran apple, hoping that they do something that they can run with talking points to Cletus to say, look at them Democrats, it's their fault. We were doing everything right in Iran. We were doing everything right. And then look at these Democrats, and they may have gotten it. They may have gotten it. Jordan B. Miller, Stick with me. This shit show that Republicans and Trump hand us will take decades to fix. It will. Donna Bell, I I view being part of the Democratic Party like a marriage. I don't always like what my party does, but I always love them and I'm always faithful. Amen. Amen. Well said, Donna. I tell you what, couldn't have said it better myself. I don't quite understand what you're saying because I'm married to the perfect woman. She's absolutely perfect at all times. So yeah, I don't know what what I don't know what you're talking about. Um, yeah, a Matriot, can you speak about the Antifa that just got convicted and are facing sentences to 50? I did. I did a whole story on that. By the way, changed my name from Angie because I criticized a Nazi and wanted to be anonymous. Hear you. Hear you. I did speak on that. I did speak on that. Their sentences will be overturned on appeal. They will. They're so far out of the norm, their sentences will be overturned on appeal. They're justly convicted, though. They are. That was a idiotic, stupid shit. It is why I preach so strongly about knowing who you go to protests with. And they did. They were a collection. They did. They shot a cop. They shot a cop. You don't do that and walk away. You don't. You don't. A lot of people are confused thinking, "Oh, they shot at an ICE agent that was threatening them with a gun." That is not true. It was an Alvarado police officer that had pulled up. The ICE agent stayed inside. I'll just give you a cliff notes of it. The ICE agent stayed inside. They vandalized cars. They vandalized a camera. The ICE agents that were inside the facility called the cops. An Alvarado PD cop got out, stayed behind. There's a video of it. You can watch it. He drew his weapon. He ordered them to comply. This is what officers do when they're coming into a riot situation. This is what they do. And Song shot this cop. He did. Now, their sentences are outrageous. They are. They are outrageous. None of these dumbasses intended to kill someone. They didn't. They didn't. But they're doing more time than child rapists and murderers. This is ridiculous. It is ridiculous. But yeah, we did a whole segment on it. We did. ET, think of people over there that are now hating all Americans because of what these idiots in power are doing and that we put them there. Get involved. Yeah. Yeah. I mean that's the people that universally condemn Israel are like the same people that universally condemn America. America is this. Hey, motherfucker, I didn't vote for the rapist. I did not vote for the rapist. I did not. Steve Pitts, only 15% of Israeli citizens oppose Netanyahu's word. That is wrong. That's absolutely wrong. Mike Daly, the Dim, remember the E. coli deaths from Jack in the Box years ago? That stuff is awful. It is. It is awful. It is awful. Mr. Knutson, RFK Jr., protector of harmful. You know what? I'm going to back up. I'm sorry. Look, you need to understand, Steve. You do. Go look up Yair Golan. He's no feigning Daisy. He's not some, lefty guy. He absolutely opposes this. He's the head of the Democratic Party in Israel, and he opposes this. His party opposes this. I see these numbers batted around. None of them are based in reality. None of them. And I'm not blaming you. I'm blaming the people that tell you this shit. They're just not there. It's about 40% right now. Because Israel doesn't have a free media. Their media is extensively controlled by Netanyahu, and it's still 40% oppose what's going on. It will get much higher as our support gets withdrawn. That's the reality of the situation. Mr. Knutson, RFK Jr., protector of harmful bacteria, parasites, and cures that don't work. How did y'all let this happen? Which doctors are more reliable? I'm telling you, because people didn't believe us. When we told them this would happen, they're like, nah, you're just being hyperbolic. No, they believe us now. Robert Garreau, Trump's talking points are way past bullshit. They are. They are. Clarence WD, my first election was Carter Reagan. I was thinking about voting Reagan. My said 3 words to me. Ma said 3 words to me. Clarence, you're poor. Message received. Yeah, I'm telling you. I'm telling you. It happens every time. I know people that voted for Trump the first time that they just weren't involved. They just went, well, I don't want another Clinton. I don't want a dynasty. I don't want another Clinton. They didn't want any of this shit. They immediately regretted that vote. I mean, it's common, Clarence. It happens, man. It's every election cycle. We've got to do the work to convince people. That girl, thank you for all your hard. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, your dad, Clarence. Gotcha. Your dad said it. Your dad said it. Gotcha. Thank you, brother. Tiger butterfly. Cyclospora. There you go. Cyclospora cayetanensis is part of the coccidian parasite family. It only affects human beings. Discovered in 1979. It's from contaminated feces. Amen. Our people are so smart. They are. New West Bill. Trump does not have control over everything. He sure likes to run his mouth and make people afraid. He and his cronies have made a mess of everything. Yes. Yes, absolutely. The whole point of what Trump's, I'll give you the Cliffs Notes of what he's trying to do. He'll do it on Thursday. We'll talk about it on Friday. The whole point of what he's trying to do is to create that victimness. That is the one thing that turns out MAGA. You're a victim. They're victimizing you. You're right. They feel like victims. They do. It's the most hilarious thing. They run around telling you, we're alphas, we're badass, but we're also victims. You're always victimizing us. You're always, and that he knows he's in trouble. So he's trying to set up a victim narrative for his people. He is. He's not going to actually do anything of consequence. And the shit he does do will immediately get knocked down in court. So I'm asking you to not be afraid, not be, and I know you will be to a degree. Hell, I am to a degree. You never know what this fucking psychopath is going to do. But so far, the institutions have held. The institutions have held. All right, we're caught up on the comments. Let's talk about a little bit about some of the stuff that's going on. And I want you to feel better because I know a lot of the shit was serious. So let's talk about this. Jean Carroll got paid. Well, she got paid from the first lawsuit. A lot of people have reached out to me and said, why did she only get paid like $5 million? It's almost $6 million, but why did she only get paid $5 million? It was supposed to be 80 or 90. Well, wait for it. Wait for it. This is the first lawsuit. This is the first lawsuit. She's still litigating the second lawsuit, which is the big one, Now, they're probably going to pare that way down. They are. They're probably, just like they're going to readjust the amount of the sentence of the people, the Alvarado 6, I think they call them. They're going to readjust those sentences on appeal. They're probably going to reduce the amount of money that she gets in that because it was a lot. I mean, I don't remember what the final total ended up being with interest, but it was a lot. So she'll get a big chunk off of that, but it'll take time. It took 5 years for her to get paid. Yeah. Yeah. But she got paid. He is an adjudicated rapist who has paid his victim. Yeah. That's a thing. That's a thing. That is a good thing that she got paid. It is. She's waited long enough. This happened. This is a very good thing. And I need you to get to work. I do. I need you to get to work. This is a good thing, but not for all the right reasons. And we still have work to do. This is the one I was telling you. This may come back to bite us in the ass as far as turning out Republicans, but we can't do everything that we do based on how will Republicans react to it. That's a formula for loss, but we are going to take a hit over this. Yeah, that NDAA, the funding bill that the Israeli military and our military tied them together and all that other shit. Yeah. Chuck Schumer whipped the Democrats and killed that sumbitch. He did. He killed it. Senate Democrats block advancement of bill to protest Trump's hostilities in Iran. Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing. Trump has been looking for an off-ramp in Iran and can't find it because all he cares about is Fox News and social media. This is the social media presidency. It is. It's all he does. It's all he cares about. What are they saying on Fox News? What are they saying on social media? Oh, they're saying I look stupid. Well, we got to keep fighting then because we haven't found a reason to blame the Democrats. He may have gotten his reason in this. He may have gotten his reason. This was a complete party line vote. Every Democrat voted against it. Every Republican voted for it. John Thune, their leader, for procedural reasons, after they lost the vote, switched his vote to no so they can, by Senate rules, they can reconsider this exact bill if it's not a straight party line vote. He switched his vote so that they can reconsider this bill in the future. So it was a straight party line vote, even though if you Google it, it'll have one Republican. Fetterman did not vote. Chuck Schumer told John Fetterman, go home. And he did. He went to the War College back in Pennsylvania and said, oh, I'm busy with a conference here. I can't be there for this vote. So there's nothing on the record for Fetterman on this vote because he did not vote. But Chuck Schumer whipped his caucus and he got every Democrat in line to oppose this and killed it. All right. Schumer came out swinging. He did. I mean, this is some of the change in tact did not mollify Schumer, who he was talking about some of the changes they made to the bill, trying to win over Democrats and trying to get the Democratic caucus to break. Schumer stood hard. He whipped his caucus. He got this is the shit where everybody wants to be the boss until you got to do boss shit. This is where Schumer bought himself capital with his people by supporting things that weren't exactly popular. They're supposed to be the punching bag. That's their job. Trump, he responded, despite Republican efforts to break our caucus, and they didn't. Schumer responded with, Trump has no clue what he's doing in Iran, and it's a recipe for utter disaster. He had no plan and no exit strategy on day one of this reckless war. We're on day 136, and nothing has changed. And that is their position. We will not fund this because there is no plan. We're not going to fund, give you an endless supply of money. You're going to have to account for what you lost, what you spent. You're going to have to tell the American people. You're going to have to get war authorization. We're going to have to do this the right way, is what he's telling them. Or, here's a thought for you. Get the fuck out of Iran. Those are basically the two situations he has left for Trump. Now, what does this do politically? Because we always have to talk about the political aspect of it. It's their excuse. We didn't fuck this up. The Democrats did. We were winning. We'd blown them to shit. They were this close to just giving up. And then the Democrats made us quit. Sons of bitches. They hate America. I promise you, that is the narrative. I haven't even looked. I haven't even looked, but I promise you, that is the narrative every Republican is running to a microphone to spread. Every last goddamn Republican is running to the mic to spread that. We're going to have to leave Iran, and it's the Democrats' fault. They never wanted us to win. They hate this Trump derangement syndrome. Yeah, but we cannot govern based on how Cletus is going to react. We just cannot do it. We cannot do it. So kudos to Schumer. But here's the problem. Here is the problem. And this is where I need you to get to work. Okay? This is the stuff they're talking about, why they're opposing this bill. Okay? These are their demands. Iran war powers. Democrats are pushing for clear limitations on the president's ability to wage war vis-a-vis funding. They want clear funding demands. They view the current version of the NDAA as a permission slip for an unconstitutional and open-ended conflict and want to mandate congressional approval before continuing offensive operations. Everything we just talked about. Spending parity. Here's the other one that is not getting any coverage that is one of their demands. Spending parity. Democrats object to the massive increase in defense spending with total military budget targets approaching $1.5 trillion, arguing that any military funding boosts must be matched by equivalent spending on domestic and non-defense programs because things like they're telling you can't have universal health care. Well, what we spent in Iran so far would have funded universal health care for every American for a year and a half. And no Republican is telling you we can't afford this war in Iran. What they've spent on the stupid fucking debacle will fund universal health care for every American for a year and a half. So the Democrats are saying, hey, bullshit. Bullshit. We're not doing this. We're not doing this. We're not going to just, have you spend us into complete and utter poverty and tell us we can't do for the American people. If you got money to whip out cash for this, you got money to whip out cash for the American people. This is way more money than it would have cost. You remember the tuition forgiveness, the loan forgiveness, and the Republicans telling you we can't afford that. We can't afford to do that. That is a pittance compared to this. And the Democrats are saying, if you're going to spend money for fucking war, you can spend money on fixing streets. You can spend money for education. You can spend money for the American fucking people. We are not the same, people. We are not the same. The Democratic Party and the Republican Party are not the same. The Republican Party is telling you they can afford to spend any amount of money on war. And then they turn around and cry poor mouth and tell you everything that we try to do for the American people. Can't afford that universal health care. It'll bankrupt us. Well, you got a year and a half of it right here. You could afford this. Why not that? This was stupidity. This was a war for Benjamin Netanyahu. You got a year and a half universal health care for Benjamin Netanyahu sitting right here, but you will not spend it on the American people. But guess what? Israel has universal health care. Yeah, we are not the same. We are not the same. And I tell you, that is not getting enough traction in the news because so many on our side are so low to say anything good about Chuck Schumer. No, really, that's a thing. That's really a thing. Chuck Schumer absolutely demanded spending for everything we want supported, but you have people on our side that cannot and will not talk about it, that will not say good things about the Democratic Party because Chuck Schumer did it. And they want to hate Chuck Schumer. There it is. There it is. There it is. Policy and personal protest. Lawmakers are demanding accountability for recent Department of Defense decisions, including the firing of specific military officers, and are looking to push amendments regarding the reinstatement of military vaccine mandates and transparency on military strikes. That's self-explanatory. So the Democrats are doing what you want them to do. They are. They are fighting the fight. They're doing what you want them to do. We have to support them. We have to be ride or die. Even if it's a guy that you don't like all of his policies, we got to do it. We got to do it. Because folks, again, I try to convince you of this. You're not the same. You're not the same. You can big picture shit. There are people out there on our side that don't have you. And not only will you not be, listen, you'll never reach them with this. I know that. When I decided to do this, I know I would not just have the largest audience out there. I would not. I never will. I never will. Because there are people out there that are on our side that they're not you. They can't. They don't have, there are human beings that do not have the cognitive ability to reason through this. The emotion takes over. You're not that. And it's really hard. That is one of the hardest things to teach someone, is that everybody's not your friend and everybody is not you. People don't operate on the same level. Because we do that. We look at everybody. Well, if I would, especially us, we think that if we just explain it to people, my wife does this all the time. Don't be mean to people. Just teach them. You're a good teacher. Just teach them. And I keep trying to explain to her, you can't teach everybody. You can't. Some people just can't learn, and you need to be aware of that with your messaging. Sometimes we just need people to react to what we want them to do. And I will explain how you do that right now with this, because this is more good news. Private equity firms can no longer buy single family homes under new federal law. Now, this is one of those political double-edged swords. This is a really good thing. You know that law that Trump wouldn't sign? It went into law. Raphael Warnock put that provision in that bill, a Democrat. Why did he do it? Because home prices are being driven up. Not the number one reason is Johnny Gotrocks needs some place to put his money. They're tripping over their own piles of money. So they're buying up houses. They look at houses as an investment vehicle. Well, it's causing home prices to go up astronomically. And the next generation can't afford them. What's the double-edged sword of this? Well, you pull that money out of the market, housing prices drop. And what's the problem with that? Housing prices drop. If you bought one of these expensive motherfuckers, yeah, this is going to make you take a bath. And they're going to blame us. But you can't have a reset on home prices without doing something about it. And it is always a double-edged sword. Making the sausage is ugly. Everybody wants to be the boss till it's time to do boss shit. And this is one of those perfect examples. This is a double-edged sword. It is a good thing. Home affordability is a good thing. Making homes more affordable means the value of your home decreases. And a home is most people's largest investment. Yeah, that's a thing. And people are not going to think out the 10 steps of Republican mismanagement that got us here, that allowed private equity to do this. They're not going to think about that. People are not that complicated. So we're going to have to be prepared for that backlash. We are. What Senator Warnock just did is a good and necessary thing. It will bear fruit. People will become more stable. People will be able to buy homes. They will. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. But be prepared for the backlash. Be prepared for the backlash. When home prices begin to drop, Republicans are going to point at Democrats and they're going to scream that Raphael Warnock did this to you. And that message is going to reverberate with simple people. That's why I am trying so hard unapologetically. People tell me, you're just a shill for the Democrats. Yeah, what the fuck are you? What are you? I try to get people to wear the jersey so that we can do hard things. That's what this movement is about. That's what the ride or die movement is about. It's not everything is easy. Not everything is painless, but we don't abandon our party and allow shit people like Trump and the Republicans who are morally fucking bankrupt to take charge of the country because Democrats have to cut funding to Israel in a methodical, intelligent way. It just doesn't feel as good. We don't abandon the Democratic Party because they make home prices more affordable, therefore driving down the value of your home, which doesn't feel good. But if you wear the jersey and you say, I'm a Democrat, it means something. It means, yeah, well, there's complications here. It's tough, but we'll get through it. The Democrats basically do the right thing. I'm not promising you perfection. I'm not. I'm promising you good. That's it. That's why I try to get people to wear the jersey so hard. That's the whole point of this. Because of shit like this. Trump sharply cuts the size of 2 national monuments in Utah. Folks, he reduced their size by 90%. It's the Bears Ears and the Staircase Escalante, the Grand Staircase Escalante National Monuments in Utah. Do you know why? I mean, other than they're beautiful and deserve to be. All right, let's take that. Reason number 1, they're beautiful and deserve to be preserved. But do you know the common sense reason why? It's a one-word answer. The common sense reason why we never allowed development in these 2 regions? I'm going to take a sip of coffee. I'm going to see how this is a test. It is a one-word answer as to why we've never allowed development in these regions. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Absolutely. A lot of good answers. A lot of good answers, folks. But this is the right one. This is the right one. Water. There is not enough water in that region for the population and development. The Republicans don't give a shit about the population. Man, Great Salt Lake is drying up, folks. And I know that's not potable water, but that's besides the point. That's the highlight. They are in a drought. They do not have the water to develop in these regions. They do not. But the Republicans don't care, just like the data centers. Republicans here in Texas greenlit data centers in communities that were facing water crises just for human consumption and use. And Republicans allowed data centers to be built, prioritizing their corporate donors over their own people. That is exactly the crux of it in that region. There is not the water for development, and we know it. And we know it. This is just the math doesn't math. But the Republicans don't care. This is a bright 100% red line, flag waving in your face declaration of what is at the core of the Republican Party. They don't care about the people. They don't. And the Republicans elected in Utah are for this, and they know. They know. That is how shitty Republicans are. We are not the same. I didn't invent these phrases for no reason. I mean, this is literally the type of example that we are not the same. Republicans have any amount of money to spend on an idiotic war that was foolishly started for no reason. There was no reason to start this war in Iran, but they've got infinite amount of money to spend on that, but no money to spend on healthcare, no money to spend on infrastructure, no money to spend, on Social Security or anything that takes care of the people. Don't have money for that. In Utah, they don't have water for the people. But hey, let's set up some uranium mines that uses tons of water. Let's set up, communities out there. Let's let land developers come in. Let's say that we don't have water for because, fuck these people. Money. We're not the same. We are not the same. We are not the same. Democrats, they give a shit. They basic things, ask basic questions like, can we afford this? Is there material and infrastructure to do this that you want to? Oh, no, there isn't. Okay. Well, then, all right, we're going to have to build the infrastructure first. Well, you just hate capitalism, you commie. No, man, I'm just telling you, we got to build the electric lines. If you're going to build this shit, you've got to have the infrastructure. We got to build that first. That takes a couple years. You are a commie. We're not the same. We're not the same. We are not the same. And another perfect example, Democrats demand proof. Republicans just make shit up. Does anybody see a 300, what is it now, 600 foot long, I can't remember the last number he said, foot long gash anywhere in this? And you notice it's not blue. Between the hydrogen peroxide and all of the algae that have settled, you're seeing a layer of algae. That's why it's not blue. People are like, that's fake. They painted it blue. No, that's algae. That's dead algae that you're looking. That's algae that's been baked in the sun. That's what it looks like. There's tire marks. And there's this, when you take the close-up pictures. When people started releasing these pictures where you can see obviously cracked on a seam, obviously buckling. It's painfully obvious what is going on here. This was a shit job, wasted millions of dollars of our money to dump to a Trump supporter, a guy that is funding Trump and his bullshit. Infinite amount of money for shit like this. Fucking failure. So the minute that happened, what did I tell you they would do? What did I tell you they would do? Does anybody remember when I said when they go to fix this, they're going to do this? Does anybody remember? This is a test. This is a test. Does anybody remember what I said they would do when they went to fix the reflecting pool? I said they're going to cover it in tarps. They're not going to let you see it. As soon as the pictures started to come out to show you exactly what it was and what happened, I told you they would throw tarps up to keep people from seeing. And there it is. There it is. Starting 2 days ago, they started throwing the tarps up all the way around so that you can't get those pictures anymore. You can't get the close-up pictures anymore because there are strict laws regarding drone flights and shit like that. You're going to have to bring a ladder, in which case the park police are going to immediately take your ladder away. I told you they were going to do that. Maybe I should shut the fuck up. maybe they're watching and got the idea from me. That would be terrible, wouldn't it? That would be terrible to find a memo release someday. We were watching Texas Paul, and he said we should put that we're going to put tarps up, and that's not a bad idea. We should do that. Yeah. This is Meridian Hill Park under Biden. This is Meridian Hill Park under Trump. Not altered. Not photoshopped. The water in the fountain at Meridian Hill Park is now, Malcolm X Park, is now shit brown. Because the people that run our government are fucking incompetent. Do you know why this happened? Well, Doge came along and went after the park services, and the park said you got to make cuts. So the park services, the people that knew what the fuck they were doing retired, and the people that were left were fucking stupid and don't have the staff. So what they didn't do is they didn't flush the auxiliary water supply lines on the regular schedule that they're supposed to. So when somebody found an old memo somewhere that says they're supposed to flush the auxiliary lines, they said, well, we should do that. Well, there's nobody left running the department after Doge and the Republicans that had enough sense to say, there's going to be a problem. We should probably put a diverter valve in and not flush that shit into the fountain. Because what's going to be inside those pipes is filth. Because, it's just been sitting. It hasn't been flowing, no water flowing. It's just been sitting full of mud and slime and sludge and bacteria. We should probably divert that water and flush it out maybe into the grass or into the Potomac or somewhere, a storm drain, but we probably shouldn't flush that into the fountain. Oh, fuck it, do it. And now that fountain smells like a sewer, looks like a sewer, and I can't think of any better example for what the Trump administration is than that. The difference, we are not the same. We are not the same. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Everything Trump touches dies. Everything. Because they cannot govern. We are not the same. The shit that Democrats do ain't sexy, but they don't do it because it's Tuesday and they're bored. They have employees in place that are competent and well paid because they understand things like regular schedules for flushing auxiliary water supply lines is necessary to keep sludge from building up in those supply lines. So we're going to do that on a regular schedule so it doesn't look like Godzilla took a shit in our national fountains. That's the difference, folks. I keep telling you, we are not the same. We are not the same. One second. We are not the same. There's a difference. There's a difference. They keep telling you every time you hear a Republican say, we're gonna cut regulation. We're gonna get rid of that wasteful spending. I want you to think about that shit brown fountain. That's what they're talking about. I want you to think about those blueberries right now that you can't go. I love blueberries, man. I love blueberries. I do. I love blueberries. I'll be honest with you. That's one of the splurges. Coffee and blueberries. I like Raisin Bran. I buy the Raisin Bran Crunch. I don't know. What is your cereal? I don't know. I buy the Raisin Bran Crunch, and then I take fresh blueberries and I throw some fresh blueberries in there. It's one of my favorite treats in the whole world. Can't eat them. Can't eat them because I can't trust the CDC. Because I don't want to get fucking E. coli. Blueberry pancakes. That's right. That's right. That is right. You know, they didn't do this shit because it's Tuesday and they were bored. They just didn't do it. They didn't do it. But if you want the number one thing that is the difference between Democrats and Republicans, is we don't murder people on the streets. We just don't. Republicans do. You know, I'll give them the props for the director of ICE saying there will be no more traffic stops because basically we're not qualified to do them and we keep murdering people. Another young man up in Maine was murdered in front of his 2-year-old daughter. That man did everything right. You remember when they were electing Trump and we were talking about immigration and we were telling them all the shit that was going to go wrong and all the problems that it was going to cause for the economy and that, you know, that it's bigotry. They're not going to target people that are just criminals. There aren't enough criminals to target to justify any of this funding. You remember all these conversations, and what did Cletus say? We don't have problem with immigration. We just want them to do it legal. Do it legal. Remember that? I mean, do you remember that? Juan Sebastian Guerrero did it legal. He did it legal. He did everything right. He had a work permit. He went to his appointments. He followed the law. What was his crime? He wasn't the target of a warrant. He wasn't. He wasn't even who ICE was in the area with their made up fucking warrants. Their administrative warrants. Again, not judicial warrants. They're made up fucking self-written warrants. And they were looking for somebody, and it was not Juan Sebastian Guerrero. What was he guilty of, people? Bingo. Bingo. When they couldn't find, thank you, Clarence. Thank you. Our African American brothers and sisters, our black brothers and sisters have been telling us this shit for decades and decades and decades. That they're being targeted. Well, you have video now. You see it with your own eyes. They couldn't find the person they were looking for. A brown person drove by. And they attacked him and murdered him in front of his child. And the director of ICE said, maybe we should stop doing this. Maybe we should let's just no more traffic. No more enforcement in traffic. Y'all are fucking up. You don't have the skill set. We never trained you to do it. You're murdering people. We're going to stop. What did I tell you was at the core of the Republican Party? Not only do we not do shit like this in the first place as Democrats, but what's at the core of the Republican Party? When you strip all the layers of the onion away, all the bullshit that they try to talk about, the Constitution and family values and all that, when you strip all that shit away, it's fucking hate. That's right. Hate and racism. So what do you think this piece of shit social media president has done? He heard the bigots were upset that ICE wasn't going to do traffic stops anymore because they really like when they see brown people get murdered on the streets. They really like that. They do. They really enjoy that. It is just to them. So he's overridden that. He's overridden it. ICE will continue to murder people on our streets. Now, the current director of ICE had the good common sense to say, you know what, we're not trained to do this. We're not going to do this shit anymore. We're not trained for traffic stops. We're fucking murdering people. We're done. We're not doing that shit anymore. And the president said that was the point, dumbass. That's what they want. You will continue to do that. White man murdering a brown man in broad daylight, wearing a badge on video and getting away with it. Well, that's Valhalla. That is the dream of the core of the Republican Party. That is MAGA to perfection. It is who they are. But on our side, we got people that can't name all three branches of government telling you not to vote for Democrats, that they're going to go vote third party. that aren't helping us try to wrest control of one part of 1/3 of the government away from the Republicans. The Republicans control all three branches of government, both houses of Congress. We're trying desperately to elect Democrats to get that power back so that we can stop this shit. And with people that are on our side that think Gaza and Israel are more important. They're important, but they're not everything. And yes, we can walk and chew gum at the same time. We can. But we can't do shit if we don't control shit. You cannot do anything about this. And I'm going to tell you this as clearly as I can possibly tell you. If we lose in the midterm, women will lose the right to vote. Women will lose the right to divorce. We will go back to the pre-70s where you could not get a credit card without your husband's signature. That was the 70s when you got that, ladies. They want to go back. They want to be able to beat the fuck out of you in a marriage, and you have no options to leave. They want to be able to rape you in a marriage, impregnate you, and then force you to bear that child so that you cannot leave. And there are people sitting there saying, well, that's hyperbole. That's over. No, it's not. No, it fucking is not. So I need you to focus. If we lose the midterms, that will be permission to the Republicans to do this. It will be a permission slip. If they win by one vote in one race, they will scream at the top of their lungs, this is what the American people wanted. So pretty please, get involved with your local Democratic Party. Why local? Because they're not uniform. And what we believe on social media is not the world. What we say on social media is not the world. What is happening at your local Democratic Party is the reality of what's happening on the ground where you're at. Support candidates. And I mean with your time, not just your money. Not everybody has money to throw at it. Phone bank. If you can't do anything, if you can't phone bank or anything, remember these two things. Remember these two concepts. Bandwagon effect. Advertisers have used it for years. You know those advertisements where everybody's like, oh, look, I use this anal cream and boy, my life is great. And then they show 10 more people batting volleyballs back and forth because they used anal cream. Well, fuck, I want to bat some volleyballs back and forth. Honey, get us some of that anal cream. Now, it sounds stupid to you in an extreme example, but it works. Bandwagon effect works. Positive comments about Democrats, negative comments about Republicans. People don't vote to say thank you. People vote. Y'all finish it. Y'all know the answer. People don't vote to say thank you. People vote to say, looking for it in the comments. There's my people. There's my people. That's right. That's one simple comment. That is one simple subject, bandwagon effect. The other is filling the space. And this is the one everybody forgets. Filling the space. I keep telling you, you're special. You are. You are fucking wonderful people. You are special. I cannot drive that home enough. And I mean special in an exceptional way. You have sat here for 2 hours with me and talked about complex subjects, and then you fucking get it. Most people cannot. The attention span your average person has after they go to work, after they take a shower, after they brush their teeth, after they spend time with their kids, after they eat, after they do, what is left is called the space. And you have to compete with Game of Thrones, the new dragons, which is quite good, by the way. Can't wait for Sunday for the next episode. House of Dragons. I'm enjoying it. I am. Is it as good as the original Game of Thrones? No, but it's still really good. It's really good. It's got dragons. You got to compete with that. What's left where people can hear you is called the space. And Republicans understand this concept perfectly. They come up with a short soundbite and they repeat it over and over and over and over and over and over again. Trump derangement syndrome. They fill the space. Democrats are commies. If I had a nickel for every time said, "Take that hat off, you fat Democrat commie," I'd be dead under a mountain of nickels. They fill that space perfectly. We, on the other hand, fill it with statements like, "Well, I'll vote Democrat because they're better than the Republicans, but they're not perfect." Ooh, way to go. Way to go. That was motivational. You only had 12 seconds of Cletus's time, and that was the message you sent. No, this is where we've got tons and tons and tons of work to do. As the people that understand, as the people that can understand complex subjects, we've got to get really good at filling that space because we're really bad. We have selfish clickbait people. We do. Those folks over at APAC Tracker, it was one of the founders was a staffer for AOC. She understands re-election. She understands that the Democratic Party is an actual big tent party and does not care. She is making bank. You got a lot of big name faces that pretend to be left, but all they do is shit talk the Democratic Party. They know this. They understand both this concept and they understand the consequences of what they do. They do. They do. They do. They do. I am not, like I said, it's not that I disagree with them. It's that I'm only a few months, a few weeks away from an election. And in this time frame, and I'm going to wrap it up with this, in this time frame, This is it. This is where you repeat your messaging. And that messaging can't be, oh, fuck this Democrat. Don't fucking talk to me about John Fetterman right now. Just don't talk to me about it. There will be plenty of time after the midterms to talk about John Fetterman. I will help you primary him in 2028. But don't fill the space with that, please. Fill the space with sunshine and cookies. And my God, Hakeem Jeffries smells good. Have you ever heard him sing? That guy can rap like a professional. He is charming as a motherfucker. And have you seen the latest shit that fucking Trump has done? Have you seen the latest shit that Trump has done? The latest fucking outrageous fucking thing that Trump has done. That's what you fill the space with, folks. It's a really simple concept. It's not hard. We forget it. The Democrats do not. That's why they seem so simple. That's why they're like broken records. They do it constantly, and they're good at it. They're good at it. Let me catch up on some comments. Cassie Lake from Canada. Thanks for being the voice of reason. Gives me hope, but our relationship forever changed. Listening along while fencing in the pasture. Glad to see it. Glad to see you're here. Glenn Kaneko. Thank you for gifting those memberships. Thank you. Thank you for being so generous. Julie Snow. Howdy, Texas Paul. Trump is literally using our White House for the biggest money laundering operation in history. The Dems have to win the midterms. Otherwise, we can kiss our nation goodbye. Amen. Amen. Neda Dahl. Trump wants to try to make Antifa a terrorist group worldwide. I read an article about that here in Denmark. Yeah. Yeah. They really are doing this shit, folks. They are stretching the boundaries of what anybody ever thought was acceptable political combat. Tomorrow night's speech by Trump, and I'll be honest with you, just to be fair, I'm going to come back, Rich. I'll come back to that. To be completely honest, it is because they see Antifa like we see the Klan. Let that sink in. They see Antifa like when we look at the 3 percenters or the Patriot Front. They think there's parity there. Yeah. If that doesn't wake you up to the fact that we are not the same, they really see this concept that they've created in their mind, because there is no movement. Antifa and Patriot Front are not the same thing. One is an idea. One is a group funded and founded down here in Texas. Yeah, the Broligarchs fund them. The people that march, that wouldn't wear masks for COVID, but wear masks continuously to go march in khakis and blue shirts. Yeah. Their leaders are making bank. They're the average dumbass kid that's showing up for them, that's riding in the back of the fucking U-Haul, has no clue how much their leaders are making, because the bigot billionaires that are also happen to be Republican Party funders, fund Patriot Front. And they think Antifa's the same thing. Richard, tomorrow night's speech by Trump will only fan the flames for his impeachment and removal. Go ahead, Von Schitzenpants. I dare you to run your mouth. Yeah, this actually could be a really good thing. If he does some off the wall shit, this could be his McCarthy have you no decency, sir moment. Gail Brownell, I say that Trump is going to try to Giuliani the election, but instead of a presser in a landscaping company parking lot with hair dye running down his face, he's doing it from his Liberace Oval. Yep. Carl Rossi, no one getting rich off health care compared to the industrial military complex. APAC may pale in comparison to our military corporate lobbyists. And folks, you've heard me say it. I think Netanyahu is a fucking psychopath. I think we have to reset our relationship with Israel. And if they cannot find some fucking decency on the left, cut them the fuck loose. I am clear about that, but I am not a bigot. I don't hate Jewish people. I will not go along with all that shit. And I am not going to shoot myself in the fucking foot and hand Republicans a victory in the midterms. I'm not going to do it. Skeet Sayer, that is huge, Paul. We have to do ads that will make sure voters are reminded that Trump refused to sign this. Next, please do farming next. Oh, yeah, we got a lot to talk about it on the farm front. You know, farmers, rightfully so, didn't really believe what I was telling them about diesel prices and that they're going to continue to go up. So a lot of farmers, man, they were just holding off and holding off and holding off, thinking that, hey, well, you know, peace may break out. They're having peace negotiations. I mean, wouldn't you? I mean, just want to hold on to some hope. And a lot of farmers just got hurt really bad because diesel spiked again, and they're going to have to order it at the higher prices. It's happening. It's happening right now. You're talking about fertilizer purchases for the fall planting. Yeah, I'm telling you, folks, this is going to hurt you at the grocery store. This is going to hurt farmers. This is all coming. It's not hyperbole. This isn't for fun. This isn't entertainment. This is me telling you, put some dry goods in your pantry a little bit at a time as you can afford to. Grocery prices, no matter what, are going up. Skeet Sayer, home prices are high. They have increased too much. Yep, there needs to be a correction. Weird Idaho Liberal, going through the outbreak categories. First viral, second parasites. Next will be fungal, called cordyceps. Then it will be The Last of Us, and it will be the Republicans' fault. That was one of the most original. The Last of Us was one of the most original things I've seen in I guess you would call it sci-fi, science fiction. That was really unique. Skeet Sayer, just give them Donnie good deeds. Yeah. Zoroastrian, man. I'm telling you, the Zoroastrians think good deeds, speak good deeds, and make it manifest. Dying Breed Garage, Paul, the main shooting by ICE, read the facts. The agent stuck his gun in the passenger window and fired in cold blood, and video tells my gut the agent was trained, but not by U.S. Law enforcement. You feel me? Foreign. Hey, I said nothing to dispute any of that. Skeet Sayer, the idiot. Go watch that video. It will sicken you. Skeet Sayer, the idiots are building data centers in a region where rivers are drying up, and due to the poles melting, Earth is heating up as the jet stream slows. Yep. Money, 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 money. Robert Guerreau, that's all they care about. Robert Guerreau. Many of you have been having to block Republican propaganda from your social media accounts. Bet I've blocked 100 this past week. Oh, yeah. Trump's speech is coming up. I put a social media. You know what? I'll play it for you. I put a post up about what Trump's going to do and what this is all about. And oh my God, the bots, I haven't seen bots at this level in forever. I probably had to remove 150 comments. Clearly bots. I mean, the English was broken. It was just, I hadn't seen bots this bad in forever. Bond yields are surging. Dow is taking a hit, and oil prices are surging again. Gas prices never really did go down much. So yeah, Trump's going to say something outrageous and awful here in just a minute. This is Old Texas Paul. Hope your coffee's as good as mine. Hell, I hope it's better. I really do. Yeah, this Thursday, Trump's going to give a speech, and he's going to talk about how he's going to try to scare everybody into thinking that he's going to interfere with elections and he's going to that's what he's going to do. That's what he's going to do. He's going to threaten our very democracy. He too much of a coward to come out and do it directly, but he's going to come out and he's going to say things that are going to make the same people that I've always got to tamp them down on our side. It's over, the sky is falling, and we've got to go out, riot in the streets and all that. And no. It's the same shit, different day. I mean, I don't know how many times Trump has to do this. Every time he gets into this corner where he's completely fucking failed. I mean, he came out and said, well, we were in Vietnam for 19 years when asked how long this shit in Iran is going to go on. Every time he gets in this situation, he just does something outrageous, and then the media jumps on. And folks, you need to figure out that the media is on his side. They have picked a side. They are on his side. I just read a report this morning. First thing this morning, I get up and I read news. I read a report, an article that tried to spin that 3.5% inflation is good. Yeah, folks. 2.2 to 2.4 is the target. 3.5 is well outside that. If this had been a Democratic administration, they would have been talking about how disappointing this is and how upsetting this is and how the American people are having to bear the brunt of this. But no, it's Trump. So 3.5 is good. Folks, focus. Midterms. Get out the vote. Motivate Democrat voters. People do not vote to say thank you. People vote to say fuck you. Point to everything that these Republicans are doing. Keep people pissed off and motivated about Republicans. This is a referendum on Trump and the Trump regime. That's it. That's it. Talk sweet about Democrats. Keep people motivated and happy to vote for Democrats, and talk shit about Republicans. This isn't hard. The number of bots on every platform that came out in response to your comment about having to block people in Republican propaganda was astronomical. They are working overtime in preparation for Trump's Thursday speech. They know they're in trouble. They know they're hurting. They're running home to mama. They're running home to victimhood. That's all this is about, is to try to tell the Republicans, even though you control all three branches of government, even though you have won, they're cheating you. They're cheating. And when you make that argument, they're so arrogant to say, well, we're just that damn good. We'd have won more. I mean, they're fucking delusional. But that's exactly what's going to happen. And yes, the bots are out like crazy. Christy, Dems usually do what's right. They just need to explain to the public why they vote a certain way so people understand very loudly and in unison. Christy, I'm trying to make it very clear to you so that you understand. Most people are not you. This was a complex. I know it seems simple to you. Well, that makes sense. Most people out there that you're interacting with on social media, eyes glaze over. They're not you. So Democrats can't sit there and explain, Republicans will have a 5-word catchphrase about you being a commie or something like that. And Democrats cannot respond to that with a 12-minute explanation of why this is why we had to do this. We just got to put the fucking jersey on. That's the whole point of what I'm telling you. I love your comment because you just illustrate it perfectly. Thank you for that comment. Thank you very much. Skeet Sayre, they are nothing but the scions of the Confederacy. That is the story of why America is broken. The excuse was greed, but the root is always racism. Yep. It's racism funded by greed. Kate Mary, like, going to have a roast beef without lettuce or tomato. I hear you. Skeet Sayre, every time U.S. tries to invade Canada, we remind them that we're nice, but don't piss us off. Geese are not the only thing not to mess with in Canada. I'm telling you. Notorious CBG 13. I'm a pissed off Utah and fighting all this bullshit here. This state is so corrupt, bigoted, and in desperate need of a separation of church and state. I hear you. I hear you. And you know what? So frustrating is people think Utah uniform. Doesn't it just piss you off that they just discount you? I mean, here you are fighting your ass off. You know what I mean? I get it about Texas all the time too. George Lynon Weber, thank you for always being here. Thanks for always supporting the show. $2 is a lot of money, my brother. I know it. I know the value of $2. Skeet Sayre, 2018. The pool was sus, but as soon as I saw the hydrogen, it was on a slope. The picture of the dude in charge was pure swamp people, so I knew it was a farce. Yep. Wendy Bauman. I'm a diehard Democrat in a MAGA family. Now you're a ride or die Democrat in a MAGA family. Now they're saying Democrats were the original racists. Now how do I answer them back? Can you help me on this? Yeah. You tell them, oh, you're right. You're right. Democrats founded the KKK, 100%. Who do the racists support now? See, we switched in the 60s. You know, the whole civil rights thing, all the bigots ran to the Republican Party. But you know that. That's why you're cool with the Confederate statues. That's why you're cool with the Confederate flag. You know this. So what are you trying to tell me with this bullshit? That's how you respond to it. That's how you respond to it. Skeet Sayre, 2018. Why did the rich still... who was endorsed by the KKK? Trump, by the way. Why do the rich have it so well on earth? Jesus, it's easier for a camel to get through the eye of a needle than a rich man to see the gates of heaven. You know, the fucked up part about this is nobody's wanting them to not be rich. Everybody wants somebody to be successful. It's just gotten so extreme. We have a trillionaire. That's a moral fucking failing as a people. We have wars over poverty. You know, we've talked about this in Africa. I've done specials on this in Africa. We have people killing each other because the Sahara is pushing southward, and you have farmers and ranchers fighting over land, killing each other. But we have a trillionaire. That's a moral fucking failing. As a species, it's a moral failing. Cassie Lake, living in South Park timeline. Amen. Tube Kurt, the U.S. under Trump is one big fire festival. Amen. I hear you. Skeet Sayre, if I was American, my biggest gripe against Trump is how he made a mockery of America's 250th birthday. Like, what a time to be alive for. I know that he just stole it from us. That was it. That was our 250th. That was it. It's over. That's what they did. Stole it from us. Skeet Sayre, not decades, Paul, centuries. Crivens McGee, fascism equals unwavering support for and belief that government use of lethal violence is the state's primary responsibility. Two faces hang in the Capitol. Yep. Skeet Sayre, just imagine what is happening inside those facilities. Yep. Melissa Grubb, we can't fix anything if we have no power. Amen. Much louder for the folks in the back. Crivens McGee, look at the speaker's rostrum in the Capitol building. Two giant golden fishes hang beside the U.S. flag representing popular support for execution. Yep. Gregory, there's a lot of history in it is just fascinating if you spend time in Washington, just learning the history and the representation of each building and where it came from. And it's amazing. I'm picturing Trump making a speech like evil President Morty before he destroyed the Citadel of Ricks. This shit is so stupid. There are hundreds of cartoon references for it. I think that's where he gets his ideas from. This is going to be perfect. backlash material. It just is. This man has dementia. This is going to suck. This is going to suck. And we're going to ride that wave of suck all the way to victory in November. Skeet Sayer, did you hear Mexico has brought charges against USA and at ICC? All of a sudden, Rubio wants to abolish it. Yeah. Actually, they've filed criminal complaints here in the United States. Crivens McGee, support for government use of lethal force equals fascism. Skeet Sayer, if you want to get context for America, a more perfect union is a channel we should all support. Crivens McGee, fascism equal the old Roman symbol for support of lethal violence by government, a headsman axe carried by executioners on the wall in the Capitol. Yep. You should see what used to be held by the sergeant at arms. Skeet Sayer, yep, you can't make fun of the Fuhrer. Give me a break. Antifa is decency. Jeremiah Hamilton, glad to see you here. Glad to see a new member. Deborah Emery, I'm 71 and I remember we don't want to go back. Please vote blue. Pretty please vote blue. How many billionaires funding the Democratic Party? Pittance compared to the Republican Party. That's one of our biggest problems is we're in a pissing contest and we don't have much piss. Skeet Sayer, guess who is telling you to fuck off with our potash to Canadians? Jeremiah Hamilton, vote out MAGA Nazis, vote Democrat. Yep. Axel Sunling, can you please give us an update on the race in Indiana between J.D. Ford and Victoria Sparks, please? I will look into it. I don't know off the top of my head what any of the involvement is, or any of the latest things are, but I will look into it. So I don't forget. If you're going to do something like this, you got to get you a stack of these. Keep them at your side at all times. Thomas King, missed you over the weekend chasing the big boy 4014. Glad to be back. That is a cool train. I've actually seen that here. He came right by our house. Every once in a while, you'll hear in the video I'm doing, you'll hear a train in the background. We're close enough to the tracks. We're far enough away from the tracks that you really can't, unless you're listening for it, can't hear it, but close enough. If you really want to hear it, you can listen for it and hear a train go by. But yeah, big boy came right by our house. Anna Cronin, it's all about burying the Epstein files. That is a huge part of it. Yep. ET, it is less than 16 weeks until the general election. Notice he changed that. Said 17 weeks last week. Verify your voter registration and deadline dates. Know your early voting dates. Get involved. Fill the space. Bandwagon effect. We're in the hard charge. Skeet Sarah, I am so glad the House is back in session. We only have to play what they say. Johnson's fear-filled speech was so rich I could not stop laughing. Yep. George, hope I'm not a bot. You'd know. Skeets here. Katie Fang is a great soldier for the movement. We need to celebrate our firebrands like AOC and Jasmine Crockett. Katie Porter was great too. Absolutely. 100%. Kate Marylight. Let's remember what happened to Mussolini. Yep. That was not a happy ending. Big Gizmo 80, strategic pissing time. We have to. Crivens McGee, if you truly want a simple message, it is fascism equals popular support for government homicide. And I'm going to give you the last word there. I hope you've enjoyed what we've done today. I hope you find it useful. Now get to work. In the meantime, enjoy some Texas cities at night.